So welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and I'm a gorilla in the wrist. Today we're looking at this Vario 1918 pilot's watch. Comes in 3 different dial colours and 3 different straps and is currently retailing around £320. The question for me is, this is the 3rd Vario that I've had the opportunity to review, and does this one stack up? Are we looking at a 3rd hit for the Vario brand? Let's crack on. So today we're looking at this Vario 1918 pilot's watch. It arrived in a very nice Vario cloth bag and is on loan from Vario themselves, so cheers Ivan mate, you're a star. It came with some extra straps, we will try those on a little bit later, a sort of narrow black bund strap, and I'm particularly curious in this one, specifically because this one just clips onto the lugs. So we'll come back to that a little bit later. Let's do a quick run around the watch itself. So what we have is a 40mm black dial pilot watch. It has wire lugs on it, and it has a lug to lug of 48mm. It's quite thin, so it's only a 10mm watch. Clearly if you've got on the bund strap it adds a couple of extra millimeters. I've actually been wearing it just on the tan leather strap, just because it works really well. It has a black enamel dial. We have printed numerals all the way around the outside, cathedral hands. We have the brand name Vario above the pinion, and not very much. This is a very simple dial. You will have also noticed it's on the wonk. So this is a true pilot's watch, which is intended to be used so that pilots don't have to lift their wrist when they're flying the plane. And I've seen it on a couple of other watches. It's quite an interesting idea. The watch itself houses a Miyota 8N33 movement, and it's a hand wind. So the crown is unusually at the top of the watch if you were looking at the watch straightened up, but it's hand wind, so you have to remember to wind it every day, otherwise it stops. It has a power reserve of about 48 hours. So it has a beautiful domed sapphire crystal, really nicely done. The finishing on this one is good, very similar in terms of the style of finishing to the Trench watch, but I really like it. And in a minute I'm going to take it off the bund strap so that you can see the back. So it has an exhibition case back, so you can see that lovely hand wind mechanism. And particularly impressed that the exhibition case back is also sapphire crystal. So what you're looking at here, folks, is a sapphire sandwich. Lovely. So the watch itself comes in 3 different colours of dial. So there is a white dial, there is a very dark blue dial, and there's this black. It's black enamel. It comes on 3 different coloured bund straps, so you've got 9 different combinations that are available to you, and it's currently retailing on the Vario website at £320. So let's run through the basic dimensions and specifications for this watch. The dial width is 40mm. It has a reasonably compact lug to lug of 48. The lug width is 20mm, and it is a fairly thin watch at 10mm. The movement inside is the Miyota 8N33. It weighs 106 grams, has 50 meters of water resistance, and offers a wonderful double domed sapphire sandwich. So let's talk about the things I don't like about this watch. So we'll start off with the lume. So the lume is there, it works, but it's not brilliant, if I'm absolutely honest. I think I scored it 5 out of 10. The lume on the numerals doesn't really last that long at all, and on the hands is okay. I suspect you would get a good 4, 5, 6 hours out of it. Not convinced it would last all night though. So the lume isn't brilliant. And the other thing, which is slightly odd, is that because of the slanted dial, this does make it a one wrist watch only. So you can wear it on your left wrist, you can put it on your right wrist, but what tends to happen is that you end up with a watch that looks like that, which I can't really get my little brain around. You know, I'm kind of used to 12 being sort of at the top-ish. So that's a bit of a down for this style of watch. But apart from it, that's all I've got to say in terms of negatives about this one. In terms of the things that I like, I think I've said this before about Varios, but I love the vintage vibe that they've managed to tap into. To date, I don't think they've done a subby homage or anything obvious like that, and every watch that comes out seems thoughtful but plugged into the same style, and it's a style that works really well for me. I really enjoy the vintage vibe that you get from this. The second part I'm quite impressed by is the specs on this. So I'd mentioned before it's double dome sapphire crystal. It has an exhibition case back. That's sapphire as well. The movement is really interesting. The 8N33 I've not come across before, but actually from looking it up, it's fairly well respected, not used in many watches. So I think the specs are really good. The third thing I like is the straps. So Vario are known for doing really good straps, so it shouldn't come as a surprise. You'll see I've taken the main bund strap off and just left it on the tan leather strap itself, and it wears really well like that, and it's big as well, so I can't think of another watch where I've had 3 spare holes on the strap itself, so that's really impressive. And then the final thing is really the finishing. It's just sumptuous. At watch at this price, it's remarkable, and I do occasionally refer to these as sort of pots. They kind of have a little bit of a pot look to them, but that finishing around the outside of the case, brush finishing, is really good. But then that very high polish contrast for the bezel effectively is just really good, and even the sort of the back of it, it's gorgeous to look at. And there's that really nice brushed finish on the exhibition case back. So yeah, I think a lot going for it, this one. I really like it, even when I've got used to the slightly off-centered position, and that onion crown is really nice, and the mechanism works really well, so there's no problem with winding it or any of those things. So here we have the watch on a black single pass leather bund strap. The strap itself is lovely, the finishing is really good, branded brushed hardware, decent length as well, so kind of works in terms of size. For me, I didn't think this brought out the best in terms of the dial, so not my favourite out of the ones I got. This one is a clip-on strap. I've not seen these on the Vario website before, but it literally just clips onto the wire lugs. Really unusual, not seen it. The only downside that I could see with this, and I think the colours work, the contrast between the grey and the black works quite well. The only downside for me is that I'm not quite sure how big it is. Well, if I do it up to the last hole, it's quite tight on my 8.5 inch wrists. So this one is interesting. This is on another Vario strap. I didn't think the black hardware would work, but clearly with a black enamel dial, it kind of does. It's quite a bold colour. And then finally we have it on this sand coloured San Martin NATO strap. I really like this. Now, I've always thought that black dial watches go really well on a sand coloured NATO type strap, and this works really well, and I think the hardware is consistent. Shame it says San Martin and not Vario on it, but no, for me, I think that's a really good look as well. So I think this watch works with many different straps, a bit of a strap monster. At which point the question is, which one did you think was the best? Let me know in the comments. So I started this video off by asking the question, is this 3 in a row for Vario? Have they managed to hit the sweet spot 3 times in the watches that I've looked at? And I have to say that I think they have. I love the styling of their watches, it really does work well. There's a lot going for it. This has been a joy to wear, and I'm going to be very sad to send it back, if I'm absolutely honest. I found that I reach for it quite regularly. I suspect in the last 2 weeks it's probably been on my wrist significantly more than it's been off, which is a measure of the feel and the vibe that you get off of it. So again, this is another fantastic offering from the wonderful Vario company. For me, this is an absolute winner. For me, this is a 9, and I'm going to be fighting the urge to put in an order for one myself, just because they're just such good watches. So that's it for today. Hope you've enjoyed that. If you didn't enjoy it, please feel free to say why. Please like and subscribe. And that's it for today. Hope to see you back soon. I have a pile of watches to review, so looking forward to getting into that. Other than that, enjoy your fantastic weekend, and I'll see you back next week, hopefully. Take care. Bye bye.